Days ago, and I thought I had made it unequivocally clear that all government bonds will be honored, and that therefore, whether you are voluntary or not, whether you have tendered or not, it will be respected. So I really want to understand why we are still here, so that if there's anything more I can say, I can do that. But really, if you look at the press statement, it emphasized the fact that this was voluntary, and about 15-16% of the pensioners actually tendered, but they chose to. The bulk of you did not. But I had indicated that it was voluntary, which means that we will honor those payments. Released a couple of days ago.
Well, so that's the finance minister, and he's wondering why they're still there, because they're still going to honor those payments, that promise that was made to them. Quickly, let me just read a message from Mr. Edward Kariwe. He's the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union. He says, Bella, I wonder why a sister from the PNC tries to create the impression that CSOs, including General Agric Workers Union, GAU, only criticize the government without providing solutions. Is she aware that government has persons monitoring discussions on TV and radio stations on daily and minutes-by-minute basis? GAU has never stopped at nothing to advise government on what to do to address the challenges of the economy, especially on agriculture. And he wanted us to specifically read this. And I remember I made reference to some advice that they gave government about, the imminent food shortage crisis and the fact that there was no attention paid to it. Bamago, this is the finance minister, and he's wondering why, the pensioners are still picketing. These pensioners are saying that until we get it on paper, a writing that says that you are excluding us from the domestic debt exchange program, we are following you wherever you go. We'll picket wherever you speak. And today, in fact, they're going to Parliament.
Thank you, Bella. And I'm a little bit overwhelmed,
Why?
Because I realized my sister liked quoting the Bible very well. I think since she started, she quoted the Bible twice.
You've been counting?
Yeah, just like Ofori Atta. And the Bible said, honor your father and mother. And this is the only commandment that comes with a promise.
Yeah.
Our tradition admonishes us how to treat the aged, which comes with so much blessings. Bella, today, pensioners, they are above 60, right? They have been picketing at the Ministry of Finance for some days now.
Yeah.
And I am surprised. You see, when Anaya was talking about boundary spanning, you and I were nodding because we've sat in the same class. We know what she's talking about. Government, you don't live in isolation. You are a system. You need other parts of you to survive. Rural Bankers Association of Ghana, they have invested over 760 million in bonds. They were not consulted. They brought out a letter. They were not consulted. What is wrong if you don't know and you ask people to help you to do the right thing? Does it take anything away from you as a finance minister or as a government? What does it take away from you? Exemption from the issuer, Bella, is completely different from voluntary exemption. Has Ken Ofori Atta and his government made provisions in the budget for the pensioners? Did he do that when he read the budget? Because as we speak now, we don't even know how much they are restructuring, how much debt they are restructuring. Because we were informed around, it was around 137,
yeah.
And now they are so-called 80% they've achieved. It's around 97.
Yeah.
So we don't even know how much debt we are working with now. My sister is talking about, President Mahama said they should go to IMF. Bella, why are we doing debt restructuring? Why are we doing it now? Maybe she needs to know. Why are we doing it? Why are we taking money from the aged? Why? Is it not because of IMF? If we had listened, trade unions, AGIs, they all retreated. Call for a dialogue. This government did not listen. And I think she should go and quote the Bible to them properly. And today, giving your adult life like 30 years, like 35 years. Bella, if this government is doing anything to affect you and I, we know by the grace of God, even if we are to live at 80 years, we have so many years ahead of us. These are people who are above 60. They are playing extra time. And you want to do policies that will take them to their early graves. A pensioner sits, invests the little that she's got or he's got, and plan his life around it, so that he or she will not be a burden onto his or her children. Look at the excruciating hardship we are going through as a youthful person. If my mother has invested, living on her pension, so she wouldn't be a burden, and a clueless, unreasonable, insensitive government does something to affect her, the burden comes on me when I am already suffering. And you think this is all about pensioners? We are involved. Because you cannot watch your mother go hungry when she had planned her life not to be a burden onto you. And a useless government comes to do this.
Easy. You
understand? Then you go to stand in front of these elders and tell them, why are they petitioning? They are being unreasonable or it is unnecessary. Who told Ken Ofori Atta, since they did not know the meaning of review, when we spoke about reviewing free SHR, who told him that exemption from the issuer is the same as the voluntary exemption? If they take their coupons to the bank at the end of the month because I did voluntary exemption, who is going to give them the money? Has the government made provisions for that? When the trade unions, the public sector workers, threatened the government to go on indefinite strike, they sat with them, they exempted them completely. So the aged, they don't have anything to threaten the government. And today you come to tell them, you come to lie to them that it's voluntary. So why are you here? Has Ken Ofori Atta explained to anybody why the country is here? And he's asking the pensioners why they are at the ministry.
We have not been in normal times.
That is why the pensioners too are there, because they are also not being in normal times. Due to, by no fault of theirs, but a government who do not know and do not know how to listen. That is why we are here. He is lying to the pensioners.
How is he lying to them?
How can you say exemption from the issue is the same as voluntary exemption? When he read his budget, we knew the people he exempted. Did he exempt the pensioners?
Okay.
Has he sat down properly to discuss with them? Then you come and tell them, you see, the arrogance. That is why nobody is even willing to help them anymore. You want us to share burden, but your action, your posturing, it doesn't commensurate with what we are going through. And you want us to share burden with you. Mostly in this country, people will go and picket, people will go on demonstration, people will go on strike when they are demanding certain, allowances and incentive from the government. Today, pensioners are picketing because their monies, at the rate at which they bought it, there is a legal relationship here. There is an offer, there is supposed to be an acceptance, you understand, an offeror, and you see, the two minds were supposed to meet at a point. That's what the lawyers called it, consensus adjudum or whatever. Two minds must meet and agree. You sit in your office, you tell me you are taking my money, and you have the impetus to tell me that if I go to the court, because Anado is the court in the judge room, I will not win. And you call this a country, and you think people are leading us. It is a shame. Ghana is gone to see the aged picketing for their monies. Not that they are demanding anything extra from the government. So the bond, the rate at which they bought their coupons has been devalued. And you want to push these people into their early graves and make them, most of them also, a burden onto we, the younger ones. We do not have a country anymore. It's a shame.
Nana, I know you're very passionate about this particular matter because it affects you as well. And at this point, is there a huge trust deficit, for government in terms of the fact that there have been so many U-turns? And that's something that Mr. Joe Jackson has said as well, that there have been so many U-turns, you've barely engaged people on this matter. And now you're saying that, well, we've been able to get to that 80% threshold that we wanted anyway. So we're going to make sure that we pay you. And now he's asking them why they're still picketing. How do you feel about this?
I feel very sad. I feel very bad. I mean, I tell myself that if I am affected, I'm not that old. I could go by. I mean, I could. And that one doesn't even affect me more than what the pensioners are going through. They have gotten to the end of their age. They finished their work. They've served this nation in whichever capacity they serve this nation. They have done so gloriously. For them to have money, they didn't steal anybody's money. This is money that came to them as form of their pension, as savings, and they have put it together. I know somebody who was saving in a certain bank, and the bank collapsed, affected his money, and that was a huge amount of money, and he was told that it was put in government bonds on his behalf, and he's on pension. Whatever he also got as a pensioner, he put it in government bonds. Now everything is shading away. For me, I am passionate because this country has no system that cares for the aged, for the vulnerable. We have 3 vulnerable groups in this nation, and that is the old people, the disabled, and children. There is nothing for them. If you cannot help me, if you don't have any system to look after me, to wait, it means that if you cannot give money to your in-law who has become like your mother, you do not steal from him or her. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you don't have a system that takes care of this. I expected the finance minister to be a bit nicer, to be a bit romantic about this matter. Do you get me? These are people who are already hurting. The system does not take care of them. They are unsure of what will happen to the proceeds of their bonds, even their bonds. He even said that once they haven't traded for the new bonds, if there is any crisis, they will be affected. Then what are you then? You see, then there is some confusion there. In one vein, you said that why are they there? Because you've written in black and white that you pay. What will you pay? Are you going to pay the 5%? Are you going to pay my 19%? What have you exempted me? Can I get access to my money when there is an issue, when I'm in dire need? Is my money available? I want to hear from you that you have exempted me. Like Margot was saying, put it on. That is what I want. Don't promise me that you pay whatever coupons that come out of it. At what rate are you paying these coupons to me?
And you need to be specific on that.
You need to be specific on that.
Okay.
What are the arrangements therein? But you see, Bella, this government, you see, when you say it, they say you are criticizing. This government doesn't do things to show empathy. If you are in government, you are like a mother, you are like a father. You have been given the country to take over, and you have 32 million minus your own team as your children. That you look after them the way that you look after your own kids. You look out for them, especially the aged. There's nothing wrong for you to say that, look, we are exempting you. There's nothing wrong for you to, there are not many. I thought the minister, when he saw them anytime, would go with them to his boardroom, sit with them, and even make some arrangements and say that, look, how many of you are on this medicine? How many of you are on Novas? How many of you are on amlodipine? What kind of medical conditions are we looking at? Then you sit down. Okay, government is going to make arrangements. Which hospital do you go to? If it's private, it's too expensive. There are public hospitals. How can we help? We put a team of doctors together that their duty is to make sure that they just look after these people whose bonds money has been affected. How are we doing it? What will work for you? Somebody says, I'm on dialysis in September or next month. How is it like? Okay, there are dialysis centers all over. Which one is government? Kolebu might be cheaper. Can we make maybe I want another place because it is better, but it is more expensive. Okay, how do we do it in such a way that you are comfortable? You give them assurance that they are going to live. You give them assurance that you stand with them. And I thought the president would even call them and say that, hey guys, I understand your plight. I am just like you. Nobody runs away from this. You see, nobody. Anybody who says that they have run away from these lifestyle and opportunity diseases beyond 60, they should come and tell us. The percentage will not even be 1%. So the point is that show empathy. You see, you are taking something from me. Show empathy. You don't go telling them, I don't even know why you are here. They are aged. They
Why
come.
is the country?
Yes. They are the aged. They are not babies. They are not young people. They are not, and they are. You see, the point is that the underlying denominator that is not common to all is the fact that they are not politicians. So you will not even say that they have an ulterior motive. The only motive they have is to stay alive. You have to be close to somebody who is on pension to know what they go through. Because you see, as you work in the public service, one, your money is not good enough. You save and cut corners to be able that, one, you have a place to lay your head. Because the system does not give you accommodation. And number two, you make sure that you save money to be able to look after these diseases that will come your way. Do you get me? Yeah. So Bellamy, for me, I am crying, I am passionate, not because of me, because me, I mean, whatever it is, I was pushed out of my job at a certain point. I was young, and I have survived till today. About 5-6 years, I'm here. Do you get me? I'm here. I'm here. I haven't cracked. At a point, I almost died, but I got sick. I had a total system collapse. But I am here. I don't have a problem if you have taken mine. You have taken it. My provident fund. Now I look at myself and as if I'm starting life all over, because that provident fund I was supposed to get proceeds by a certain. I went there. They said there's no money. So me, I have conscientized my mind. I haven't reached the stage where I'm a pensioner. Yeah. I was pushed out at a young. I'm not, but I am empathetic because I have seen it happen. That when you are old, you have these diseases and you need to look after yourself. You don't even know the living conditions of some of these people. Do they have children? Do they have grandchildren? Who is looking after them?
Janet, let me bring you in. I mean, should these pensioners be excluded completely from the domestic debt exchange program?
Sitting here, I cannot say they should be excluded or they shouldn't be, because I don't have the information that I need to make such judgment. You see, what surprises me is the way people passionately are talking about how the government is wicked. Do you think that the government trying to break the eight will want to hurt pensioners so that they will get the bad side of the people criticizing them for things they did that are not right? Do you think the government would like to do that? No. The government wouldn't want to be doing things that are negatively impacting on them so that their aid, which I know very well that PNC will not allow anyway.
You won't allow MPP to break the aid?
This is our term.
So PNC will win the next 2024 elections?
Ghanaians are now wiser because I have been telling NDC, you and the MPP are in government. You are those monitoring all the institutions and organizations through parliament. So if we are talking about opposition political parties, we are not part. Myself and Anaya, we are in opposition. So no, we are in opposition. You are in government with them, and then I'm trying to do things, and you are not even.
Let's get back. Let's get back to the DD.
Getting back. I don't think that our finance minister will want to hurt people so that they will get the bad side of. They will bring themselves out, and Ghanaians will criticize them. There are reasons why. I heard you talking about Russian-Ukraine war. They said, oh, it's not the Russian-Ukraine war. We talk about coronavirus. They said it's not that one. You said they have mismanaged our funds. All these things are part of the reason why we are here today. So if today he is supposed to go to parliament, I'm not expecting a parliament that is divided, a parliament that is made up of MPP, NDC, so they have their mindset. When they come, this is what we are going to do. That is not the type of parliament I'm looking for today. I want parliament to be non-partisan about the issues that they are going to bring forward. I want Parliament not to pick a document that have been entrusted into their hands and given to an individual who carry it like a Bible and roam around the whole place. At the end of the day, he will destroy evidence. And then we cannot get evidence to punish people who commit crimes at the end of the day. I'm talking about the Honorable Okujato, who took a good case that Ghana we could have monitored to make sure that the Reverend Minister, Reverend Kusi, if he is guilty, is not Mr. Okujato, who is bringing it out. It is rather Parliament, that a committee that is coming out with it, so that Ghanaians can be able to accept it and work with it. One individual picked it. Now it has become a political banter. Nobody is even paying attention to such a case anymore. Let's pray that today's proceedings in Parliament is going to be non-partisan.
Okay.
You are not there to fight for your political party. You are there to look at the interests of Ghanaians and do what is best for Ghana, not what will bring your political party to power.
But the question, sorry to cut you, but the question is, do we even need this domestic debt exchange program? And there were some people who were of the notion that we didn't need it. And in fact, the technical committee that was set up for the individual bondholders, they were tasked to come up with recommendations on how else we can raise some revenue so that they'll be excluded. They talked about reviewing free SHS. They talked about retrieving monies that were lost from, state enterprises. And if you look at how much we could have retrieved from all that, it's about 83 billion Ghana cedis. We're looking at, 137. At this point, what government has been able to sign on to is about 98 billion. Don't you think that maybe if government had cut down on expenditure to a large extent and implemented some of these recommendations, we probably won't even need this domestic debt exchange program at all?
It's easier said than done. They kept it in the paper. Do you think that the money that was lost is sitting down there waiting for us? If I steal money, I will steal it and spend it. I will steal it and put it down so that you can come and recover it.
When you say they kept it in the paper, yeah.
Yes. If enterprises have lost a lot of money, and now if we pick it, it will be how much? How many?
It's about 3 recommendations they made, and in total about 83 billion Ghana.
And I'm saying that the enterprises thing, this is someone who is owing you now that you want the person to pay back. You have to sit down and see how much the person can afford. No matter what, you cannot force somebody who doesn't have. If you sell all the property, most of them, they spend it on so many things that are not assets. So with that one, it's a non-decent.
What about review of free SHS?
Free SHS. Okay, free SHS, it is something that they brought, that they were going to do for the people of Ghana. It's true that a lot of people are saying that they should review, but we have 60% of Ghanaians who think that the free SHS, they should leave it like that. A person from my village, now I don't have people from my village calling me to give them money to send their children to school. And that is something that is easing my burden whilst I sit over here.
But that's the whole idea of reviewing free SHS anyway. So that those who can afford it will pay. Very well. And those who can't afford will be the ones to benefit.
And I'm saying
even
that,
the finance minister agrees to
and
this.
I'm saying that the people that are benefiting from it from the villages are happy the way it is. So if it's a government policy. So government will have to sit down to look, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? So if government decided not to do all these things and decided to go for the debt exchange something, it means that one is the easiest.
Is the PNC happy with the way the free SHS is being implemented? Or do you think it should be reviewed?
I don't think we are happy about the way things are happening, especially when we don't have infrastructure, when a whole lot of things are going on, people are not getting food to eat and other things. I don't think that one is good. So even to review, we are not saying that government should let them pay. No, we are thinking that all those things that are lacking should be brought in. So that, why? We as in our manifesto, we want to give free education from primary to tertiary level. That is what is in our manifesto. So if I sit here today to tell you that government should review free SHS so that people should pay, it contravenes the manifesto of PNC. So I will not say that. I'm saying that the government is not even doing work. They should push in more this in, and then
pushing more what?
More money.
Resources. More money into free
People
SHS.
cannot get food to eat. Our children are crying in the various schools. So wherever we get money to be able to help this, let's do it. Because you are talking about prudent management and other things. So if we can let the enterprises and other people to pay and other things, that can be able to push into the free SHS and make these children to be well fed, well educated. They have all the things that they need in the various schools. PNC will be okay. Because when we come to power, we are not only going to do that, we are going to extend it to the tertiary level. And that will be a problem for those people.
You extend the free SHS to free tertiary?
Yes, to tertiary
level.
With
what money?
Wherever we are going to get our money from, when you read our manifesto, you see it over there.
But you should be able to tell us now.
There are a lot of places whereby we can be able to get our money
from. At this point when we are broke, let's just say for some reason 2024 PNC comes into power. How are you going to implement the free tertiary when there's no money?
We are going to make sure that the agri sector is revamping. The reason why we are having all these difficulties is because we don't have enough food to eat. Most of our money is being pushed out to buy food into the country. So we are going to have priorities. We are going to have growth poles, and we are going to invest in those things to make sure that Ghana is, we are not going to be using our money to do debt exchange and other things. We are going to prioritize, and the prioritization will have to do with investing in our agri sector.
Should government cut down on its number of ministers?
Totally. We already, even on our recommendations that we gave to government, we told them that they should downsize.
And they didn't listen.
No, we are still hoping that it will.
You are still hoping.
We are still hoping.
So then, how are they showing
the ones, the pointers that you gave them? You were telling us that when we give pointers and it's not
And
being implemented,
we kept on talking.
question. Have you asked them?
About 2 weeks ago, I was
then
on
why are you criticizing the talking?
Adum, and I was still. We were still on it.
And they haven't heard.
Not
so
that
if
they've
government
not
is not doing its part, hold on, Margot.
So you should
How?
have told
If
them.
government is not doing its part and they expect that pensioners should lose their funds, individual bondholders should lose their
No,
investments.
when you say I look like a friend to
Is government not
I'm
being
a friend
unfair?
to Ghana. No.
No, the government.
No, it's not true.
The government.
I'm a friend to government, to Ghana, not to government.
Okay.
I am thinking that some of the things that we are doing, we are trying to destroy this country without
Anyway.
knowing because of the politics we do.
All right.